In this in-depth tutorial, we will design a customized email template from scratch. We will cover these 6 topics where everything will be explained and shown step by step. So let's grab a cup of tea and begin. Did you know that this video is part of a free Mailchimp for Beginners online course? Go to wpexplainer.com to take the full course in a learning enhanced environment and get a personalized certificate at completion. Now back to the video. In this tutorial, we will design our very own newsletters that resemble our business's visual identity. Now, before you begin with an email campaign, then I strongly recommend that you start building an email template. And you find that right over here. And before we begin, I just want to explain why this is important. An email template can be reused as many times as you like, and you can always use it as a base to create different variations of your templates as well, which you can use for regular newsletters, automated newsletter campaigns, or many other different things. And the more you design and tweak your template, the more you will save time every single time you create a new newsletter. So with that in mind, let's go ahead and create our template. Now the first thing we see here is the Themes tab, and here we have some ready-made designs that we can use. Now, as you can see when you hover over these, that these are available to use, but further down you can see that some you actually need to upgrade to use. So just bear in mind that if you find a template that looks good for your company, then you might need to update your Mailchimp account to a paid version. But for this course we'll begin with a basic layout. So let's get over here to Layouts and down here to Basic. And for the free account, then we only have the option to either have simple text or either have this one column full width layout or a more boxed layout. My only rule for designing a template is that I want it to resemble the website of the business as much as possible. Now for this course I will be making a template for a company called Tokyo Denmark Week. And as you can see here, this is a full width website. So I will also be going with a full width template. So I'll just click this. And now we are ready to design our very first email template. Now, of course, here on the left side, you can see how the email will look. And on the right side here, we have all the different elements that we can use to tweak the design and layout of our newsletter. Now I recommend you begin by getting acquainted with some of these different content blocks. You can see if you grab one, you can get different areas to drop them. For example, I can just drop this boxed text in here. And when I've placed it, I get this editor over on the right side where I can edit the text. I can edit the style, of course the background color, and I can tweak the settings. In this case, I can change this to 2 columns if I want, and even change the size of the boxes as well. And if you'd like, you can always clone a block, or you can just delete it very easily like this. Next we have the Style tab, where we can change the overall look and feel of our newsletter. The top one here is for the overall design of our newsletter. The next is the pre-header, which is the top bar up here. Then we have the header, where the logo is placed. The body is where the content of our newsletter is located. And then we have the footer, which is the bottom of our newsletter. And next we have some mobile styles, which is for different headline sizes and so on for mobile. And lastly, we have the referral badge, which is the required advertisement for Mailchimp that you have in the bottom of your newsletters on a free plan. You can change this to a light or dark version, or you can upgrade your plan to remove it. Okay, it's time to have some fun and design our newsletter. We will begin by changing the fonts and the colors. And we'll begin with the overall design up here. And we will go ahead and change the fonts right here. As standard, you can see it's chosen Arial, but we have a small handful of other standard web fonts to choose from, or we have some custom web fonts to choose from down here. Just be mindful that the custom web fonts might not be showing in Gmail, in your Outlook browser, or in Yahoo browsers. In that case, it'll fall back to some of the standard web fonts. And which font should you choose? Well, I recommend finding something that is similar to your website. And in this case, I'm using Montserrat for headlines and Open Sans for paragraph text. And since I don't have that exact font, then I will just choose something as closely as possible. And in this case, I think Tahoma is quite good. I think it might be a little bit too large, so I'll just change it a little bit in size. And I like it bold. And the rest is fine. The only thing I want to change is the color. And for the website, I'm using a slightly lighter dark gray. And I've actually saved my color hex codes right here in Notepad. So I'll just go ahead and copy this hex code and then paste it in right here. And the next thing I want to do is simply change the fonts for heading 2, heading 3, and so on, and maybe tweak the size a little bit. So I'll just go ahead and do that now. All right, I'm done with the headings. So I'll go to the next tab, which is pre-header. And I'm actually using a light blue on the website. And I think that would look quite well on the pre-header up here. So I'll just go ahead and change that. And I will change the font here to my paragraph text, which is actually Open Sans, which I can choose right down here. So that is perfect. I'll go ahead and select that. And for the color, I'll go ahead and change this to my dark gray color, just to make it stand out a little bit more. And this is actually a URL up here, so I need to change the color down here as well in the pre-header link. I can even consider making it bold, but I think it's okay as it is like this. All right, I'll save that. The header, I think, is fine as it is. I'll just put in a logo in the next video where we look at images. Next, we have body style. We'll keep the background as white. I don't really like the borders on the top and bottom for this layout, but the text I also need to change to the same paragraph text, which was Open Sans. And I will change the color to the same dark gray. And I will change the link color here to my blue color, like this. All right, next I just want to add a block to the design, and this will be a button. So I'll just go ahead and drag this over. And if you want large button text, then you just have to write it with large letters, like this. And of course, you can add the URL to your website or wherever you wish people to go to. And the next is, of course, the Style tab. And here we can change the roundness of the corners. In the website design I'm working with, I have very round corners, so I'll create that. And the background, I'll make the same blue as the link text. And then we have the font settings down here. I'll of course change this to the same as the paragraph text. And I think for a button, it can look good with some spacing. And I think 1 pixel is good for this design. And I might just make the size a little bit smaller, Lastly, we have some settings over here to align our button, or we can make it full width if we want it to stand out a little bit more. And I think that is fine, so I'll save and close this. And I'm happy with this for now, so I'll see you in the next video. Now we're ready to add some images to our newsletter template. And I'll begin with the logo, so I'll just click that and click Replace up here. And I've already prepared some images, so I'll just go ahead and drag those in. It'll upload for a second, and I will just simply choose the image and click up here on Insert. Now you can see the image is way too big, but this is actually on purpose because I want to go over here to Settings and then use Retina Image Support, which constrains the image by 50%. What this does is that it compresses all the pixels in the image so they are twice the density and therefore in higher resolution or much sharper on mobile and iPads and so on. I can also go ahead and align this to the left, or maybe I'll just keep this centered. I think that's fine as well. Next, I want to add an image to my template, and I'll do that by dragging the image block right over here. I'll click Browse because I already uploaded the image right here. And again, I'll just click Insert. Now, bear in mind that image sizes are quite important in Mailchimp if you want really sharp images on all devices, including mobile and tablets. And for that purpose, you need to resize your images to some specific pixel widths. In this case, you can see I've uploaded an image that is 1128 pixels in width. And this is exactly double the recommended size for a full width image right here on Mailchimp. You can see here that Mailchimp's email templates are 600 pixels wide. And for a full width section, they recommend 564 pixels in width. And since I want to constrain it by 50%, I want the image twice as big. There are also recommendations for 2 columns, you can see here, and 3 column section images. One thing to be mindful about is that your height of the image is an even number. This is important because when you're constraining something by 50% and you have an uneven number, it would try to create a half pixel, which doesn't exist. So for proper image handling, always create an even number on the height as well. But sometimes you're also just in a hurry, and as long as your image isn't extremely large, which would make your emails load really slow, then you can also just upload an image as you have it ready on your computer. So let's go ahead and add another block, and this is the image plus text. And I'll just drop it underneath the image right here. And before I upload any images, I actually want to go to Settings here and make a 2-column layout. Okay, and I will browse for the images, and I've prepared a few extra images for this purpose. So I'll just upload these and insert. And I'll just insert the next one as well. And of course, this image is 528 pixels in width, which is of course exactly twice the 2-column section image size shown right here. Now, since these are some sort of info boxes, I just want to change the size of the text to be a little bit smaller. So I'll just try with 14. I think maybe 15 that's a way to go. And of course I can tweak the designs here, but because I set the font in the overall settings earlier, I don't have to specify the font here, which will also save me time in the future when I'm creating more newsletters. However, it would be nice with a headline here, so I'll go over here to Content, and I'll just insert a headline here I can always change the text when I'm creating my actual newsletter, but for now I'm just looking at design. And let's try with the heading 3, or I can try a heading 4. Yeah, I think that fits quite good right here. So I'll just copy this and I'll go over here to column 2 and I'll just paste that in. And I just need to choose heading 4 once again. Okay, I will save this. And I just want to create a simple headline for this 2-column section here. So I'll just add a text block right here. And I'll just write upcoming events. And I'll give this a larger heading. Align it center. And I'll just put in a divider on top just to create some space to the image above. So I'll make sure the border is white so it's just not visible. And I think the padding here, the height, is quite fine. So I'll just save and close this. And I feel like there could be some space below as well. So I'll just duplicate it and I'll just put it in right below right here. Now let's have a look at styling our footer section and our social media bar as well. And let's just begin with the overall footer settings. So we'll go to Style here, go to Footer, and we can change the background color to begin. And I just want this footer to resemble the website's footer as much as possible. So I want this light blue color, and I want the social media and the text just to be this dark gray, kind of blackish color. So I have my hex code right here. So I will just copy that and paste that in. And I also want to make sure that the font is the same as the rest of the newsletter. So I'll go ahead and choose Open Sans, and I will choose the dark gray here for the text color. And I will use the same color for the links down here as well. And I think the rest is fine. The text size looks quite good, but I might just add a little bit more padding for the top and bottom. And this simply means the top and bottom space, like this. So I think that's fine. I'll just save this. And for the content, bear in mind that a lot of these things are required for the newsletter to work. However, you can change some styling. For example, if you want this headline to be bold, then that's no problem at all. You can just go ahead and do that. Also, if you don't have any email preferences like the groups we added earlier, then it could make sense to delete this line as well and simply keep the unsubscribe option down here. But as you know, we added groups earlier, so we do need people to be able to update their preferences at a later time. Okay, I will save this. Next, I just want to change the color of this divider. And I have the same text color as I pasted earlier. So I'll just put that in. And I think I just want this to be a thin line. So I will save. Let's go to social media and begin by going to the settings right here. And I will use a simpler layout. And you can choose some different layouts here, but I'll just keep this as it is. And of course, we can change which social media to show in our footer. For this website, we have 4 different medias. So I can just right-click and copy the link address. And I will go over here and paste that in. And I'll just repeat for the Facebook. Then we have the website, which I don't really want down here. So I'll just change this to LinkedIn. Here we go. I'll copy that. And I'll add another service and add Instagram as well. And you can always reorder these like this. And I'm happy with that, so I'll just save and close right here. Now I just want to quickly go over the mobile styles to show you how you can tweak your settings a little bit, specifically for mobile layouts. And before we go into these settings, it's a good idea just to preview your email template in mobile view. So we'll enter preview mode here, and here we can select mobile. And let's just assess the top headline here. I think that is fine. The H2 headline, also fine. H3, I'm pretty happy with that. But I see that the font size here in the footer is slightly larger. So that might be a thing I want to change. Also, we have this pre-header up here, and you can also choose to remove that if you want. I think it's actually fine to have that as well. So let's go back to the styles. And I pretty much want to keep everything. As I said, I wanted to keep the pre-header. Otherwise, I could simply hide it right here. But I just wanted to change the footer text to be the same as in the desktop view. So that's it really. I'll just save these settings, and I'll see you in the next video. Merge tags are a great way to add personalization to newsletters. The most common merge tag is to write the first name in the beginning of the newsletter. This could be, for example, Hi, Paul, Maria, or whatever. And to do that, we need to find out what the merge tag is for the first name. And to find that out, we just need to save this and go ahead and exit the template builder here. So I'll just rename this my first template. And let's just go to the form builder, which we'll find up here under audience, sign up forms, and form builder. Now, if we click the first name, then it's actually what we find here under field tag that is our merge tag. So you can always just click the other places and see the other merge tag names. And an important thing is that if you haven't required this field, then the situation might occur where nobody has written their first name in this field. In that case, you can actually populate this with some default merge tag value, which could, for example, just be beloved follower or beloved subscriber. So in the event that Paul hasn't written his first name, the email would just say, Hi, beloved subscriber. Now in my case, I don't need to use this default merge tag because this is required. But now we know that fname is the merge tag for our first name. So now we can go back and insert this into our template. So I'll go back to templates. And I'll add fname right here. But we actually need to put a star in front and then a pipe. And then we can go over here and add a pipe and star as well. And if you're ever in doubt about the merge tags, then we actually have a drop down right here where you can click up here on Open Cheat Sheet. and you can see all the merge tag there is here in Mailchimp. Now what we need to do is test out that this is actually working, and unfortunately we can't test this inside the template editor. So we actually have to create a campaign just to make sure that the merge tag is actually working. So let's go ahead and save this and exit the template builder. Now we can go to campaigns up here, create a new campaign. And yes, this is a regular email. I'll just add a subject here, testing campaign. And I'll go ahead and design the email here with the classic builder. And now it's of course important to use our save template here. So I'll select that. And now we can go ahead and go to preview and send a test email. Okay, let me just go to my email and check that everything looks good. Okay, I've opened up my email and I can see that Mailchimp tells me that this is in fact the merge tag for the first name. So I'm happy and now know that the merge tag is actually working. Alright, so that's what I had about merge tags. You now have a full newsletter design you can use for all your future campaigns. I'll add even more designs in this course as time goes, so you can get even more inspiration to create beautiful newsletters. I wish you great success with your email marketing.